is just. All you gotta do is just. Baby, you know you ready. 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 All you gotta do is just. Baby, you know you ready. 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 All you gotta do is just. All you gotta do is just.
What is up, dude? Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it was good. I was like, "This is
Baby,
this is
you
good.
know,
We just
red.
keep
I don't
it
even know.
going.
What
Like,
yeah,
let's just do an
that's what I
hour
was
and a
saying.
half of this.
Yeah,
I was like, actually, I'm getting into flow just from like this is making my
that's
brain go, man.
yeah. Vince is not having it. Not having it today.
Nah.
Where did he say this? Yeah. Come on,
Not enough
Vince.
coffee.
Yeah, there we
Dude.
go. That's the vibe we're going for. What's up, Miguel? Ben, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up? Hopefully our audio's coming through clear. I can hear you, Simon, pretty good. So that's one sign, but pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know audio. I don't know levels and all that crap. I'm just here, shove the microphone in my face and let's just chat.
I could just imagine Vince like starting the stream and he's like, whoa, stop.
It's like
Baby, you
when we get up in the morning, right? I always I grab my phone. I try and keep my phone in the other room, like in here, so that I have to get out of bed to go and get it. But then you know what happens? I just grab my phone, I go straight back to bed, and then I've just got this, in front of me. And then I'll see something I laugh at something funny, some tweet or whatever. And I go and show Noelia, like I literally tilt the screen over, like, look at this, lol. And she's like, and the brightness is like right up. Yeah. Sorry, Vince.
Oh, God. What?
Oh, did you just let the sun in?
No, my son is at school. Thank God. Stay.
No,
man.
Nope.
No.
Blues Brothers. Where's your hat?
Brothers.
Yeah.
I do. They look fine when I'm wearing it. Anyway, let's talk about some serious stuff. This boring. Like, let's talk about some other cool things. Name change for NativePHP. No, I don't think we're doing that. PHP is greater than others. That's true. It's fine. Just wasn't expecting it. Well, Vince, get ready for it next time. He's going to show up next week with like rave glow sticks, and we're going to play like some lullaby music or something. He's like, what? Why?
What?
Yep. We've got some notes today, buddy. We've got some stuff to do. We've got stuff going on.
We've got Have we done? We haven't done a stream together for
It's been the last 2 weeks we were not together. So it's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I've missed you, man. We've
I've
talked
talked to
every
you
day,
every
but I've
day.
missed you.
Yeah. I missed you in this context, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And you're not wearing a
feels-
cap. What's going on?
I am
Just feeling
I'm
fresh,
transitioning
feeling
to summer
yourself.
vibes. Yeah. I honestly, so like the other day, Victoria, my girlfriend, for those that don't know, was gone to work, and I was sitting here in my freaking hoodie, like always, and sweatpants, and like I don't have a reason to like go like to be presentable ever, but it's like I don't need one. Let me put on a collared shirt, and I put on one of the shirts she likes and wore it, and she came up, she's
You
like,
just try
"This
and
is a
stop
change."
me.
I'm like, "Yeah, I've got a bunch of nice things," and it's like, why? Like I'm just wearing the same stupid hoodie, t-shirt, Adidas.
I really hope
joggers.
Noelia doesn't watch this later because she's gonna go. I keep telling you the same thing, and you keep
Oh,
wearing
shit.
the same clothes every day. And I'm like, yeah, because it's easy. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Don't you show me up? But it's a very nice shirt. I like it, and it suits you to a
We were
T.
talking about Stitch Fix. Actually came from Stitch Fix. I forgot to mention it
Oh,
earlier.
no way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Got a few things. We did Carson's last 2 years of wardrobe for school through that, just a couple $100 or whatever. And it's like, just send me
Yeah.
this stuff. Here's his sizes, and it's fine because he's not picky. So, yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah.
But dude,
Yeah, it's good.
we got some big stuff. We got some some things to talk about here. We got some big things. Big things. No, I'm not going to overhype it, but we do got some cool stuff going on. Namely, we're going to tag a release live on stream. Like,
Yay, love that. We haven't done that
soon.
for a while.
And I'm just going to look at the notes real quick here on it so we can tell everybody what we are tagging. Also, I did realize one thing that's going to kind of hinder things. Not really, not for us, but for the users. Let me go to the release notes. We're tagging version 3.3.0 today.
Have you prepared the release notes already?
Yes.
Oh, I was going to try and squeeze something in.
You can. It's in draft mode, so you can go. It's draft, so.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see where we do, because I haven't fully tested it, and I've run out of time to test it beforehand. So I think we just maybe make it a vote.
Just 3.3.1. I mean, we could do it live on stream.
Yeah.
Dude. Like we were just talking about this. Like,
just that's true.
Do the
We
work.
could do that.
Just do the work. We have some time to fill. With
I am
some
trying
things,
to do the work, and it's just frustrating me for some reason. But
I'm gonna read through the notes that we've got so far. So we've got a fix. We got a couple of fixes here for iOS. One is passing log message as NS log argument, not format string by be cool call Ben call. This was like just a what's the word? A mismatch, I guess, of functions being used in different spots that he's formatted, I guess, for us so that it's they're consistent and they're going all logs are going to the same right space on iOS. We also have preserve URL percent encoding through PHP by Ben Call, which I'm guessing you merged that one in because I don't remember that. Okay,
yeah,
can you explain it?
There's I'll try and remember. There's some very specific set of circumstances. I think it's deep links, and maybe some other situations where if you pass links with query string parameters that have got like characters that would normally be URL encoded, they end up not getting translated properly when we pass them through to PHP, which then ends up them not being processed properly on the Laravel side. So
gotcha. So like
they need to be like
2F is like space or whatever.
Exactly. So there needs to be like a pre-decode step before it goes through the pipe. And it was just like, okay, this is a bit of a quirky, you wouldn't bump into it normally for most things, but then yeah, it was a good fix. It was a good fix. So
Good
let's get
fix.
it in.
There's another one here that I think's got your name on it, though it's not your name on it. It's voice code -BV, which is fix string _ get CSV deprecation warning on PHP 8.4.
Yeah.
Sounds like an easy one, though. There's just these deprecation warnings that pop up all over the place as you trot along.
str _ get CSV has had this really annoying like warning added to it because somebody has changed the like it's a core PHP function, right? And they've made it so that you now have to pass the escape character. You have to be explicit about the escape character that you're using. I think it's probably like a vulnerability fix, but the escape character parameter is the last parameter on the function call. And so if you're doing things in the old-fashioned PHP way, you have to pass all of the other parameters as the defaults that they're going to be set as. Otherwise, you're going to break things, like existing behavior. Or if you don't care about using named parameters, you can use the named parameter and just pass it. But it was just like a really weird deprecation where you now have to be explicit about the escape character that you want to send through.
Gotcha. That sounds
it's boring.
Yeah.
And I think actually the thing is to do if you're doing library stuff like this is don't use string get CSV. Like you should move away from that function because of whatever, like it's probably
there's all these helper
opening a
methods
whole
anyway.
project. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that would do probably what you want to do without the heavy lift of that, but
We're going to take a moment. We're going to pause here just for a second. We're just going to say hi to a couple people that have joined since. Hello, Sonali.
Hey.
Hello, Sonali. I was talking to Savan yesterday, and my head starts going like this, and then I immediately think of Sonali every time. That and people taking so many selfies with us.
This is why he's not wearing a hat. It'll fall off.
This is it. Yeah. And John Custer, how's that going, buddy? Welcome. Happy Friday. It's a good Friday, even if it's not Good Friday.
Howdy.
What is this? Estrella. What is it?
Yeah.
Galileo.
Galileo. Yeah. Actually, when you come here, I have to take you to a place called Galileo. It's very good.
Okay. We gotta figure out when that can happen. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. It's probably gonna be next year.
For you to sleep right here on this crappy sofa.
I will pretend to sleep and work the whole time. Don't worry.
Good.
And then we got a couple other questions here. When is NativePHP opening a boot camp? We're not opening a boot camp. I am going camping next weekend, which I have tons of time for. That's a whole other topic, but we are doing there's a video course that we are preparing. Actually, we have Shruti Balasa is preparing for. She's done some Laracast stuff, and she's got her own YouTube channel, 50,000 something subscribers, I think. So she's working on that now for us, and we are doing pre-sales. So we're selling that now. It's a one-time fee, $101. The price is going to go up to, I think we settled around $300 or $250 when it's released. That money is all just paying Shruti to do this for us, and we've been collaborating with her and just answering her questions so she can teach effectively and all that stuff. So that's a work in progress. So you can go now to nativephp.com and click on the masterclass link in the navigation and sign up for that now. As far as merch, NativePHP merch, NativePHM perch. We've had merch in the past, and then it's through Printful, and then we're doing it through Etsy and linking all that together so that you can just go do stuff. And I went after a couple months of it being there, and I just saw that the store was just empty, and I'm like, we've got too many other things to worry about. That we just took the link down. That's something that we'd love to get back up someday.
I want to do
high priority.
I want to do merch that's not just our logos on stuff as well. Really cool designs and it
That's
just
a great idea.
yeah, it just takes time, and I don't know.
So I have prepared a demo for later in the stream today. So I am prepared to demonstrate where we are at with the all new super native native PHP, and I'm really excited. So I've got some. I'm going to Chicago in like a week and a half, and then I go right from there to Tokyo, and then I'm doing Laravel Live London. Now I can talk about that. They finally announced it, so I'm doing Laravel Live London. And so this is like doing all those talks. I'm preparing all of this stuff for that. So I've been getting good at kind of, or practicing at least, demoing some of these things. And there's some cool stuff that I'm not going to demo at a talk that I can show you guys as well. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really cool. There's some really cool stuff, really cool things that I'm really excited to show you guys about that. But all that to say, I want a shirt that says like WebView is so 2025 or something like that, because now we're going super native, right? You didn't react to that at all. That means you weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
You got
What
the
was it?
The
Tell
Estrella
me.
is flowing.
It's
I
taking
want a
effect.
shirt that says WebView is so 2025. Go native. There you go. That's the reaction.
There you go. Yeah. WebView so 20. Yeah. Just like web views suck.
Web views suck. The thing that we've been trying to,
though.
Yeah. They actually don't. No, but it's so much nicer in the native world. And we got a couple more people saying hi here. Hello from Egypt. Hello Islam Baha 8657. Hello Esser Denis from France. Jim Buitt, what is up, my man? How you doing? We got Tilly the coder in the house. Welcome.
Yay.
She messaged me the other day. She's going to see me in London, so we're excited for that. Esser's excited for the demo. I'm excited to get to that. Actually, we'll probably, if you don't mind, we'll probably just get to that right after we read the rest of these release notes, and then we'll tag the release, unless you want to put the work in.
I don't.
Probably not a good idea now.
Yeah, I'm still Claude's still
We'll tag-
crunching on the.
We'll tag 3.3.1 this afternoon. That's fine. No biggie.
No, I'll leave it till next week probably. But
web native and super native to just be native PHP, like just like Apple over deliver one more thing. Yeah, not a bad idea. WebSocket support, a way to manage data streaming. Yeah, that's not something I've worked on quite yet, but it's actually quite simple, to be honest, inside of this world. I've done the preliminary just like research into this stuff for WebSocket stuff. Even though we're not using the web, we can still do WebSockets. So all that and more. Stay tuned. Let's finish these release notes. You ready?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
All right. So we've got the NS log argument, not format string, blah blah blah. We've got the preserve URL % encoding. We got the string get CSV deprecation warning stuff. We also have another fix for iOS, allowing apps to override the plugin info.plist permission strings. So this was brought to our attention, my attention yesterday or the day before by Martin Gauthier, who is he's working right now. So he did a build through Bifrost with the camera plugin, and we have permission strings built into the plugin itself, and Apple rejected it as too generic. And we both thought we had a way to like override this, but we didn't. So we've added a way so that you can just specify in your config file, nativephp.php, permissions. Now it's different for Android, so it's really just going to pertain to iOS because Android doesn't require permission strings. Like, what is the reason you're using the camera? They just say you need camera. Here's the permission. That's it. So these really just pertain to iOS. But now you can add a permissions array, which is like old school V2 stuff. We had a permissions array that's coming back. And so you can override the default and put whatever you want to for any of the standard permissions. So that's fixed. That is tested and that is ready to go. Also, this is a big one. There has been an issue. So since going with version 3.1 with the persistent PHP, there's things that get cleared out by default, or things that we have to clear out, very similar to Octane, these global variables that remain in persistence that had to be cleared out. One of the things that was overlooked, though, is like the post body was not reaching PHP. We fixed this, we patched this very soon after 3.1.1, probably for Android, but not thinking that it was an issue with iOS. So we did Salvin, actually, Web Mavens. He had this app, and I just like took a swing at it and pulled down his thing. And yeah, I mean, just a live wire. If you just do a live wire uh, with the latest version of native PHP, a live wire starter kit, and just try to do a register, you'll submit the form, and it will say those fields are required. They don't actually get into PHP. So this is the fix for that. So we've got fix iOS form post reaching PHP with empty $_post. And that was like just a very easy, like there's already precedence because we fix it with Android. It was overlooked with iOS. And so it was very easy to patch that in. It was a very small fix, but effective. And then
but effective.
And then oh, come on. You're letting the Australia do the talking here.
Just no carry on. You just ignore it and you just move on.
You wish. Next and last but not least at all, Jump support for version 2 of Jump.
Oh my God.
We finally got the approval. From Apple for the Jump Store, the App Store for the Jump app. So you guys, this is no joke. This has been 4 months almost in the making to get to this point, to get the approval for what we're trying to do with Jump through the App Store. And they finally did it. And I can talk for a long time about guideline 2.5.2 section B and what we were doing and what we had to change. And then we had to convince them that it was a new way to do things. And they would lots of back and forth.
We're going to have to get into it.
Well, all right, I'll tell you. So, all right, before version 1, when we first rolled out the Jump app, when you would run PHP Artisan Native Jump, iOS or Android, it would do the npm run build part of things for whichever device you were on. It would zip everything up, and it would make a zip file available over your local network. When you scan the QR code opening up in the browser, it would download that zip file to the phone and then unpack it inside of our runtime, essentially our PHP runtime on the device, on the Jump app, and you're off to the races. Essentially, there was some more stuff. There's some more integrations with Bifrost and stuff like that, but that was the crux of it. Now, because of guideline 2.5.2, in fact, I couldn't figure out a way around this for a while. I was bashing my head. I had several talks with reps from Apple, trying to, like, you guys, like, Expo's doing this. What is that? Vibecoding.com or whatever is doing this. Like, how come? Why did they get special exceptions? They're like, we can't talk about what these other apps are doing. We can only talk about what you're doing, and blah 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 blah. And I was chatting with you, and I was chatting with Claude later about it, and I don't remember the question I asked, but somehow the idea came to mind of, like, don't zip it up. The whole problem is, this is the 2.5.2 section B guideline. You cannot download content to an app that changes the initial function of the app. That was their problem. That's it's like paraphrasing here, but it's essentially what it is. You can't download new content that changes the initial intention of that. So you can imagine like a game where you're playing golf on a course and you get to the next level and it downloads a new course. It's not changing the app. It's downloadable content. It's new executable content, but it doesn't change the application. It's the same game. You're just in a new course. In fact, I want to read what I wrote to them. My last interaction with them. Let me pull this up.
The thing that gets me, and we were talking about this the other day, and I don't want to get on my soapbox about it too much.
You're going to, though. I know.
I am going to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And
Get it
I
off your
think there's a
chest,
lot of
man.
people who are frustrated at Apple with this because they do seem to sort of they're not changed tune necessarily, but they've sort of reapplied guidelines that they've had in place for a while as like a very dumb club against all of the vibe coding apps. And I think what they've sort of bundled Jump into that list of, oh well, this just lets you, install up, new applications inside this application, and so we're scared of that for whatever reasons, and we don't want you to be able to do it, so we're not going to allow it. And it's like when you look at what their guidelines say, we're not really introducing any new executable code, like we're not changing what the app behavior is capable of at its core, because you can't on iPhones, you can't replace apps like that in that way. But what we are doing is essentially the Jump app can just house a bunch of apps that can tap into the Jump app's functionality, right? So I think in our case, without them explicitly saying it this way, I think what they don't want is for the Jump app to become a way to distribute other apps. I think that's
The other
the problem.
That's part of it. The other part of it too, in that I forgot to mention this, is that they also don't want. They're like, we have test flight. We don't want you
Yeah.
to have an app that allows users to preview apps that they're building. So you cannot frame it as a preview app.
Tool.
It's not a way
Yeah.
to preview your app that you're building. You can't frame it that way. So there was a lot of talk around. Uh-oh, Jesus. Pretty cute there. I like when you blush. So let me read this real quick. I wanna say what I told them. This is after the end of a lot of back and forth. Did they come back with a two? Yes, they gave me like another 2.5.2. We still notice the app is designed for clients or users to preview apps prior to being submitted to the App Store for review. This type of design allows you to change the app's behavior or functionality to differ from the intended and advertised primary purpose of the app, which is not in compliance with the Apple Review Guideline 2.5.2 and Section 3.3.2 of the Apple Developer Program License Agreement. If you'd like to test or preview an app prior to releasing it to the App Store, it would be appropriate to use test flight ... My response: Jump is not a preview tool for unreleased apps, period. Your response describes Jump as designed for clients or users to preview apps prior to being submitted to the App Store. This is not how Jump is marketed, sold, or used. It's not that it's for sale, but sold as a whatever.
Mhm.
Jump is a runtime for Laravel web applications, server-rendered PHP software. Users sign in to access Laravel applications they own, operate, or have been authorized to use. Jump does not host an app catalog, does not facilitate app distribution, has no submit to App Store or share build with testers workflow, and has no developer tooling for building or compiling apps. We agree TestFlight is the correct tool for previewing pre-release App Store builds. Jump is not that tool. Jump is a runtime in the same category as many approved apps, rendering remote content authored by the user or a third party inside of a native shell is the foundational model of a large class of approved apps like web browsers, Safari, Chrome, Roblox executes user authored Lua experiences, Steam Link, Moonlight, Shadow, Microsoft Remote Desktop, render remote application UI, Swift Playgrounds, Apple's own, executes arbitrary user written Swift, Pythonista, A Shell, ISH, Scriptable, execute user provided code. Each is advertised as a runtime, viewer, or remote client for content the user supplies. Jump's advertised purpose is run your Laravel application on mobile. So loading a Laravel app is not a deviation from purpose. It's a fulfillment of it. A new website in Safari does not change Safari's purpose. A new Laravel app in Jump does not change Jump's. On 2.5.2 specifically, we read 2.5.2 as protecting against apps that materially change their advertised function via download code. Example, a calculator that later becomes a slot machine. Jump's function is fixed, a Laravel runtime, on first launch and forever after. The PHP it executes is the content The runtime is designed to render just as JavaScript is the content a browser renders. The native bundle never changes, is not updated remotely, and contains no mechanism to introduce or alter native features after review. 2.5.2's restrictions also qualified features or functionality of the app, including other apps. And Jump's features, QR connection, web view, runtime, native bridge, account-based access, are entirely contained in the native binary. What we are willing to do, we want to ship Jump in a form Apple is comfortable with. If concerns remain, we're open to tightening App Store metadata to ambiguously position Jump as a runtime for Laravel apps the user owns or is authorized to access with no language suggesting preview or testing before submission. The end. They said, thanks for your reply. We're going to need a lot more time to review this. And then that was, let's see, 5 days later, it was just marked as approved. That was it.
Yeah.
Got him. So
the crowds go wild.
Yeah, dude.
But now, okay, we could break all of that down and try and work out all the different things. There's loads of good points in that. I think if there's any one lesson to take away from it for people who might have to like square up to Apple, what would be one key takeaway that's sort of generalizable?
Understand the actual problem and think outside the box to solve that. Because I kept going with this, like, we need to zip up the thing and download it. If I didn't do that from the beginning, we wouldn't have so much back and forth. It wouldn't have taken so long. So that's number one. Understand the guidelines, I think. I think also is like in any submission to the App Store, just put your phone number in, tell them to call you. They'll call you within 3 days. I've done that several times. And I always get this thing, it's like California is calling me or San Jose, whatever it is. And they'll give you 20 minutes, half an hour per session, just talk about what the actual problem is. I like the last couple times I was like almost belligerent. Like, what do you mean? What like why not? I don't understand why this is a problem and everybody else is not having a problem. So I think that's probably the best thing. They are open. They're people. They're working a job just like you and I. They go home and they buy groceries and they have kids and all that stuff. They're just trying to get their job done. They have to abide by their rules. Learn the rules, understand the rules, and think creatively if you run into any objections.
Basically, don't go all DHH on their asses.
Don't go DHH. Don't
Scorched earth.
Yeah. So,
cool.
So I've had. Go on.
Yeah, go on. Well, no.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I think that there's some really good things that then have come out, like through doing this to Jump, right? Because, well, the first thing that's really obvious to me was it's way quicker to have it preview your app.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're gonna demo all of this stuff now, right?
I wasn't planning to do Jump, but we can. I will say that, yeah, because we don't have to zip it up, the whole command before the QR code shows up is almost instant. It's very, very fast. The QR code now shows in the terminal, so it doesn't open more and more browser tabs for you every time you do this. And because we are just streaming the content over your local network, any changes you make to the files show up immediately on the device. So we have a little WebSocket there that's just listening for Watchman is just saying, hey, we changed. And then it just sends a notification to the phone. The phone's like, okay, let's reload that. Hot module reloading is all worked out, Android and iOS as well. And so you got hot reloads, you got hot module reloading. It is instant once you scan the QR code. It is instant to connect. It's just on the device. You still get that 3-finger swipe to get out of the application. And I think too, like just like from a business side of things, number one, we have push notifications from Bifrost. So if you sign into Bifrost, that's the only thing that integration with Bifrost there is now. Anyway, I was distracted by who posted as me. You posted as me. Is that what that? Like, why
no, I didn't.
It says at Shane D. Rosenthal. Anyway,
that's just weirdness.
We also this is
Riverside.
That's so we do push notifications from Bifrost when you have a build that is successful or fails or whatever. If you log in, you'll get push notifications for all your builds, but also we have our own um, marketing channel. Essentially, we can do push notifications ourselves to promote products to. I mean, we've got almost 3,000 people downloaded the Jump app initially, so that's a lot
Pretty
of
good.
people that'll get the update, and then that's other ways that we can
Pretty
market. We're not gonna use this solely, but it's another channel for us to tell people about things that we're doing. So
Love me some channels.
um so I'm excited. I'm very excited. This has been a long time coming. It's been ready on Google for a while. Like they don't have any problem with the release of this, but I didn't want to release that. We had to change the mobile air package to support all of the new ways for this. But it's like been on a branch. No PR even existed until we got the approval from Apple. Like let's just wait, get everybody step forward at the same time. Right now, I am waiting for Google to like the changes are in review. They might, but they've already approved for closed testing. It's just getting approved for production. So we are gonna tag the release. I am gonna click the button on App Store to push out the new version. So you can just go to the App Store and it will just work on Apple. Google will take it's like an hour, 2 hours, and then this will just be released on Google as well. So the official version for both iOS and Android will be 2.0.0. So when you go to download or do an update, check that. Also, I will tell everybody that I have got a lot of experience with the Google Play Store and trying to like get the latest update of apps that I push to like testing tracks and stuff. If you long press on the icon and go to app info and go to the cache and delete the cache and then reopen the app, you will always get the update if it's been approved in the App Store. It will always show you a cached version and it'll be like, nope, no update available. I'm like, it's like released everywhere. Everybody sees it. But on my phone, I cannot see that there's an update available. Just clear the cache for the app and you will get the update. So
That weird Android
Yep.
behavior.
Yep.
Okay.
It makes sense, though.
Before we go through all of the things that we've got to go through, answer me one important question.
Okay.
How the heck, if it's loading your Laravel application from your dev machine in a web view inside the Jump app now, so it's not moving all of that code and running it on your phone, how on earth is it going to run any native functionality at all? Surely that's not possible.
100,000% it is. And actually, I demonstrated that with Jess a couple weeks ago. So we had to get clever with this. This goes into Jess Archer, by the way. This goes into I'm trying to remember. I know the answer. I'm trying to remember like the logic and what the hindrance of it was. Yeah, so because we're running off your computer, right? We have to like when you click a button on it that calls a native PHP method, right? Turn on the flashlight or whatever. Inside of a compiled application, so when you're not inside of Jump, we have the PHP runtime that's listening for that, or not listening for it. We're triggering the method that's registered on the device already inside of that runtime. So it just knows how to handle that. There's a registered method lookup. It calls it in Swift or Kotlin. And that's how that works for native capabilities. Since we are running that code off the device, off your desktop, essentially over the network, we can only simulate those function calls, but it's actually kind of genius. So every one of those calls sends a known signature for that method.
Yeah.
So it's the name of the function and a payload potentially. Could be an empty string or it could have a bunch of stuff in it. None of that changes. We're still sending that registered function name and that payload, potential payload, optional payload, to the device. Jump renders it the way that Jump does it itself. So Jump itself says, oh, we got this call through a WebSocket. So through a WebSocket, we are telling from the computer, from the thing, hey, we're calling this method on the application, and it just knows how to do that. So all of those, like, we had to kind of build jump. We had to build native PHP twice, basically, like for core and then also for jump. And that also, what's nice about that is all of the new super native stuff also works. It just has to be built again. So like it doesn't, like I can scan the super native stuff with jump. Half of the things won't work because we're still finalizing the API for, yep. So once the API is finalized, then we can tell Claude, convert all this stuff over to jump so that jump can now render super native. And now you can do all the same. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's exactly the same way. All the flat binary buffering and all that stuff that we're doing still works.
Nice. We're basically, what you're saying is just forwarding the call.
Yep.
Over the network instead of, now it's all just running on the device in the single application. It's like
that's exactly
the PHP code is executing on your development machine, so like on your laptop, and then the result of that call is now different because it's not operating inside the native shell. It captures the outcome and pushes it over a WebSocket back to the phone to say, do this, and this is the shape of the request. So that's really cool.
Do you want to know the coolest part about what we can do with this?
I think I know, but yeah.
So when I submitted this initially as the new build to Apple, they were like, hey, send us a QR code so that we can test. And I'm like, no, go download Herd and do Laravel new and like composer require. And they're like, no, send us a QR code. And I'm like, all right, wait a second. Actually, all I have to do is change like that initial JSON payload to accept a URL instead of like we send like the host and the port number for your local network. So the like local IP and a port, right? If instead we just send like a public URL in a QR code, you could just scan the QR code and it will just work because it's just a web view. So therefore, any QR code to any URL works. Additionally, if we set up any one of your existing websites, any existing website in the world, get a QR code for it, scan it with jump, and it will work. But also any website that knows how to pass from a button click that JSON payload for a native call to a WebSocket server that your device is listening to, which can be configured, you can call native functionality from any website. And one cool application for this, there's several cool applications for this. One major cool application that I can think of immediately is updating our docs and API docs and like all of the plugin docs to scan a QR code with Jump, which is going to bring more people to using Jump. First of all, scan the QR code. And if it's just like a flashlight, very simple, a flashlight plugin, right? Scan the QR code. It just pops up with a single button that's like, turn your flashlight on. Boom. Flashlight's on. Boom. Flashlight's off. Vibrate, a whole haptic feedback, whatever you want to. Like you just, because it's a Laravel application. This is the beautiful thing. Because of the Laravel application, you just like send this off to cloud, Laravel Cloud or Forge, get that temporary URL or that, not fancy domain, whatever it's called.
The fake preview domains or
preview URL, whatever it is. Get that, create a QR code out of it and put it on your website. And that's it. And you scan that and now you can preview any native functionality from a QR code with Jump. Think about this. Think about this.
My God. Do you know the first thing that popped into my head around that is
that's what Trudy says.
I'm gonna make a load of money. No, not that. It was you could do it such that like we basically publish it's a protocol, right? We have a wire protocol for a native interaction. So you could publish the protocol and then any back-end service, as you said, it doesn't need to be a Laravel application. It just needs to know the protocol can serve a native application. So all of the UI, like especially when it gets to super native, right? Because it's like all of the UI is native, but it's defined in this protocol. And then all of the behaviors, like when you press a button, that's defined in the protocol. As long as the native shell application that you're running supports the behavior that you're trying
Ooh.
to do, then that means we could actually have like a WordPress plugin
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that
for
lets
sure.
people level up their
Shopify,
like
like
whatever.
any of
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly. As long as
Any
you can
site,
run
any site.
something adjacent to your existing website, you could have it turned into a native app.
So
That's
the other
pretty
thing, so
exciting.
here's something that we haven't talked about, Simon. We lose the ability to download and take then offline these sites. So maybe I'm working on something and I want to go show somebody, or I want to look at whatever. Oh my God, man, my mind is melting here. Dude, I'm
Out
getting
with it,
so
boy.
excited all
Out
over
with
again.
it.
All right, so we can't do that anymore. We cannot download that content. They don't
Sure.
allow this.
Yeah. Yep.
We can store the URL though. And you can just
Yes.
have a link list that you click on that opens
Yes.
that app back up, and it's streaming
Yeah.
again from the URL.
Yep. That's good. I like that.
Then you can use like I use Claude sometimes on my phone to talk to my computer at home to program stuff that pushes it to GitHub to update the website on automatic deployments through cloud. I can then build apps with my voice anywhere I'm at and preview them still on device and deploy straight to Bifrost once we get that hooked back up. It's actually all the work's done. We just wanted to get the approval done first.
Yeah.
So this is all really doable, really doable.
The opportunities from here just feel incredible. Like that whole, if let's say it was a Laravel app, just for the sake of argument, because that's what probably most of us here know, then you could actually just have like a Laravel, an open, let's say open source Laravel starter kit, right? That's the back end service for your app, and you just have a button that deploys it straight to cloud. Now that's your application. Let's say we can ignore all this stuff, but let's say it's got auth and all of those things in there. Like
Sure.
You've got a data structure and your model's set up, and you've done some work to get this set up. But the wire protocol, there's some server package, right, that we would install into that Laravel application for you as part of the starter kit, that then gets deployed to the server. So it's on cloud and it's running on this free domain, and you're paying like $5 a month or whatever to have this thing running. And without ever having to touch like anything else, you could have that running as a native application. So all you need to know is like the URL and have something inside of a native PHP mobile app. So let's say you stand that up as well as a separate thing that's got this like client package in it. Now the client and the server can speak to each other without you having to configure anything, because they know how to speak to each other. And all you've had to do is just type in the URL, essentially. There'd probably be a few other bits of like security stuff, but they would negotiate between the two of them, and then everything in the app could be controlled from the server entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yep. So it's almost like you kind of like then like whitelist almost, or white label, I mean, jump, so that it's really just this client shell sort of app that knows how to do this, but is completely customized for each user's experience that they want for their app name, their app ID, all that stuff. The mechanisms, the mechanics inside of it are going to behave very similarly. They just kind of specify the URL for the server that you want to pull in from, and that's
I think you could even make it work so that it works offline. So if the end user loses their network connectivity, like it then doesn't become dependent upon the network, because this would still be dependent on the network, right?
Well, I mean, like, so I will show this. Let me show this actually real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Share my screen window. We'll do this. Let's go to Jump. All right. This is Jump. This is the new Jump app. Okay. Number one, and it doesn't look like this initially, but when you click on this native PHP playground right in the center here, right? This is actually loading a Laravel. This is a Laravel application. So if the shell of the app was just the shell, and on first boot, maybe it ships with like a Laravel app inside of it, which this does. This has the Laravel application inside of the app itself, right? The whole Laravel app is inside of the app that you're downloading. So you can do that same thing. It's actually what we're doing now with all native PHP apps anyway. But you can say, hey, check for the latest version on your own server and pull that in, any changes, updates, whatever for that. As you're changing stuff on the server, then you can have whatever content you want to be dynamic. And that also includes native functionality on top of that, as long as it's in the initial binaries that you submitted with the initial shell application. You know, all the permissions for location and camera and all that stuff have to be there. So yeah, I mean, this is a Laravel app on the device, and when I click alert, there we go. All the native functionality is right there. Toast, there's a little toast there on the bottom. Get device information, all the device info, the battery status, network status,
APIs that we've, or
the
at least
one
a good
was
set of them.
request permission. So permission for locations granted, geolocation, there it is. Vibrate, you guys won't feel it. Open
That's
app
where
settings.
it is. That's where his house is, folks.
No, I don't want you to know. Stay away from me.
Go back and screenshot.
No. We got a little how it works here. So we got like little steps of like what to do. We've got all of our docs from the actual. So this actually is cached daily. So as I open this up, it actually checked for any updates and pulls in the latest of the actual whatchamacallit, the docs. And right now this is just pointing to our videos here, but we will have a section later for our video course. So any of the free videos that we're going to come out with, it will be right here inside of the
That's beautiful.
app. And then if you go into the settings, we've got like I can sign into my Bifrost account. I can turn on or off the push notifications from Bifrost, build updates, as well as marketing and any announcements for that. And for Jump, for native PHP, so we can market that way as well. That is that. While I'm here, do you want to see the super native demo?
Yeah, let's go to that.
Let me actually share my whole screen. Man, and there's so many things. Scott, I'm not ignoring you. I keep seeing, like, you said hi a while ago. I want to say hi. Hi, dude. And Islam Baha, I don't know if you're still around or if you dropped off, but what advice? I know you were saying something about a CRUD something or other. I don't want to ignore you on that.
Sorry, I'm being very bad at following the chat. You're talking and demoing. It was, cool. I can understand code and how it works and why, but my issue is that when someone tells me to write a simple code like user CRUD, I can't write it while I know the steps.
Yep. So if you could specify some of that. He was talking about the boot camp and all that. So he wants just some more education pieces.
Yeah.
I think the best way to ask questions, honestly, in the general chat of our Discord, if you go to nativephp.com, scroll to the bottom, click the Discord link, go to our Discord. There's some people that are very, very, very helpful. We got like 3,500 people in that Discord. And that's, one of the reasons we went free is because we were seeing so much help, contributions from the community within in helping us, handle some of that stuff. So feel free to ask there. There's people will answer you. If it goes beyond that, we do offer like premium support, or we offer now consulting too. So you just go to click the consulting link on the app, and you can go that route if you choose.
On nativephp.com.
NativePHP.com. I'm going to share my whole screen here though, because I want to show you guys. Well, let me give the quick demo, and then I'm going to show you some really cool stuff, dude. I'm so excited about this. First
You've
of
really
all,
hyped it up now. Like really,
I'm excited.
Really hyped.
All right, so here's the native app. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to reopen it. And first of all, I just want you to see the boot time. Did you see that?
Dang,
Did you
that
see
was
that? Don't
fast.
blink,
No, I
dude.
didn't.
Don't blink.
It was so
Done.
fast it cut my eye. That's amazing.
I'm sorry. I'm glad then. I'm glad I cut your eye. That's it. Very fast. And what there's several, like, these are all like different demos here. I'm going to take you through not all of them, a lot of them, but not all of them. Just to give you a sense of like what we're working with here. First of all, we have like this
nice
transition.
animations. Yeah.
Yep. These are all native. Also, like if I scroll down, if you see the super native demo wording on the top, watch when I scroll. Boop.
Oh.
Boop.
Can't do that in
Boop.
JavaScript.
You can't do that with
you can,
JavaScript.
but it's not very easy.
Not natively. No.
No.
So we've got forms, and I think this is the thing I love to show the most.
Forms. I love that.
We've
got forms, baby.
We've got forms. So that's like
that should be a t-shirt. We got forms.
Thanks. So you can see like the keyboard changes. That's not what I'm excited about. This is what I'm excited about. So this
we got
is
keyboards.
Liquid glass. All right, shut up.
Sorry.
Liquid. So you can see the value below. It's set at 25.0. When I release, boom, it's changed to whatever the value is of the thing, right? This is, as I'm swiping around, it's not going to change until I stop for 150 milliseconds. It's got this debounced on it, right? So 41, 24.5.
So you're still
all
holding
of this,
your finger, but it's
I'm still holding my finger. Yep. I'm just like stopping there. Yep. The thing about this is all of that, this is native. You can see liquid glass. It's all going through PHP for the processing. I can show you the code for this. It's really cool.
That's
all of
this
this
really
going through
slow,
PHP,
though, isn't it? That's going to be
right.
Slow.
You would think. Check this out. This is a live drag. So the value here, there's two values. It's just like the value of the slider, and then I just did like times 12. I just multiplied it in PHP, times 12.
What?
Yeah, dude. There's zero lag here. And actually, I've measured it. It's about 100 nanoseconds. You're not going to notice any difference here. This is as fast as what you would get with any video game or whatever.
Wait, so
boop,
that's
boop, 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 boop.
That's going through into Laravel and letting PHP calculate. Okay, it's a simple multiply by 12, but it's going all the way through Laravel to get to that.
In fact, let me share my whole screen.
So you're blowing my mind.
Yep. So let's pull this up. This is, I'm going to put this back in debug.
I mean, this is taking me back to the time when I started doing the stuff on like, let's get running. What was I doing? There was I was trying to do all that performance stuff months and months ago. Do you remember when I showed like the boxes bouncing around the screen and I was still using the God method to do that, and it was still slow. What you've got here is like another level.
It is a totally different level.
But this is all the stuff that we put into 3.1. Right?
Well, not entirely. A lot of it is including that, the persistent PHP and all that stuff. But this is another layer on top of that. We have the shared memory location with this, which we don't have previously, and we have the 160 byte fixed node strides for mapping all of the elements, and that's a whole topic unto itself how we're doing that. But essentially, we're not passing JSON to describe the UI. We are passing binary from PHP through C into the native device. And then so native is just reading binary, which is the fastest that you can get.
Yeah.
It's the absolute fastest thing that you can do. And into a shared memory with double buffering and which I can explain, double buffering, and we are only patching patching differences. So when you change a color, the background color of a button from green to red or something, if you have this whole page rendered out, we're only patching the diff between those two things. So we're only,
it doesn't have to re-render the whole screen.
And then the double buffering thing is, so we write, so there's this I didn't know any of this stuff before, man. It's so cool. The Linux kernel actually operates the exact same way. It's a combination of a mutex and a convar. So mutex is mutual exclusivity. Nothing can write to, no two things can write to the same place at the same time. There's one or the other. That's it. If you both try, two things try to write to the same place in memory, it'll crash. That's the rule. So what we do is we write to one place with PHP. This very fast binary, so that's all going in there. As soon as we're done, PHP or C, at that level it's C, signals and says this is a convar, it's a condition variable. It just changes from 0 to 1. Are we working on this, yes or no? Or 1 to 0 actually. So yes, we're working on this, boom, 0, no we're not. So the other side, the native side, says all right, when that buffer, that area in memory is a 0, now I can read from it. While it's doing that, we are writing to a separate buffer. So we don't have to worry about locks. We don't have to worry about mutual exclusivity. It's the exact same way that the Linux kernel operates. It's the exact same way. It'll write to one buffer, mutual exclusivity, and then it will signal, hey, we're done, and start writing to a different buffer, and then back and forth it goes. No locks, no mutual exclusivity, crashes, nothing like that. And you have all that speed and performance that you're wanting, especially from a native device. It's the same way that video games speak through different languages to the same place and maintain that, not 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
And you can actually go much, much faster than that because it's literally instant. It's literally instant because you're in the same memory location. Anyway, let's see some code, man. So first of all, I'm going to run nrun. This is my alias for NativePHP Artisan, NativePHP Artisan native : run. So nrun I for iOS -w, which is watch, and then no vite because we don't have JavaScript. There's no JavaScript at all in this app. So no vite. And that's
what do you mean no JavaScript? That's not possible. That should be a t-shirt as well. No JavaScript.
You're funny on beers.
Web you suck. Sorry, I just keep interrupting you. That's you me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, all right. So give this just a second. Let's pull up some code.
Kevin Uzoma has said, "You guys are amazing."
We are not bored. We'll put it that way. All right, check this out, dude.
This is a lot of fun.
This is fun. I like this.
Tell me.
We're going to go to the forms.blade.php. All right. Oh man, there's so many cool things. I'm about to show you guys. Just wait. Wait till this is ready. Oh my God. So this is the markup. So if you're familiar with Livewire, you're going to feel right at home. This is the markup for this application. We have the web.php. We have route : native. We also have route : native groups. Now the API for this is still a work in progress, but this is working really well. And I've compared it with some other frameworks and it feels on par with what users might expect when interfacing with this kind of stuff. All right, give this a second. One thing that I want to work on and fix later, you're going to see, like, as I'm making changes, we're going to get the hot reloading, but it resets the whole app back to this screen. I do want to like be able to stay on one screen and just see the changes in real time. It's just not there right now. Let's go into the forms.
I mean,
so forms,
that you've got any kind of hot reloading working with this anyway is like amazing.
Thanks. Slider. All right. So this is that first slider. Let's scroll down here. This is this right here, right?
Yep.
All right. So we've got right here, this is that very first one, min 0, max 100. And then I've got two value things down here. So value, you can say value, value A, value 2. And then this is just number formatting, rounded to 3 decimals. And this is the slide value, which is like native model.live, right? So now we're
looks like Livewire. Yeah,
feels like Livewire. It's just native. And then this is times 12. So let's do times 15. And now I haven't saved it yet. I'm going to save it. This is going to go back to the home screen after a white screen. Sometimes
Yeah,
it
we'll
takes
have
a
to
little
come back.
longer than other times. I'm going to save it. And it didn't reload. Why wouldn't that reload? I literally
maybe it's
was
taking
working
some
on this.
time.
No. It should immediately go to a white screen. I wonder if.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
A
baby.
crash. Wonderful. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. This is why. Because this is my actual device. It has to go to a simulator. You can't do this with. All right.
There
So
you
let's.
go.
That's why. All right. Let's go to. That's exactly why. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm like, what?
Wrong
All
place.
right.
We've all been there. When I'm making changes, refreshing the page, and it turns out I'm refreshing prod. Damn it.
I sent you a link the other day. I was like, why
Yeah,
why
that
is
was
this
funny.
not here anymore? It was to .test. It was
Oh.
my local URL.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
That's all right. The coffee.
We have to
kicked
wait
in.
another minute here. Now these changes will be in this new version. So, all right, this is now no longer my actual phone. Oh, dude, I can't wait to show you what I'm going to show you though. Like, this is cool. Showing you this stuff is cool, but wait till I show you. I'll just tease it. Like, I've got a CSS Tailwind class. All of these classes, by the way, they're not actual Tailwind. They look just like Tailwind because I've got my own Tailwind parser. Okay, so we are parsing this and rendering it to native. What that
Can
means
I
is
comment
then
on that? Before,
you
sorry,
may.
before you go into like what that means, hold on to that thought, because I've seen people do this. There's a whole package for, I think it's for React Native,
Yeah.
called
Yep.
Native Wind or something like.
Native Wind. Yeah, I think it's Native Wind. Yep.
So there's like, think about that for a second. You've got this Tailwind is huge, right? It's so big in the world of web, and it's become so prevalent as a way to define your design system for applications that you're building, that it's now made its way into the world of mobile, to the point where someone or a group of people have built a package explicitly for React Native to make it so that you can use what look like Tailwind classes in your markup and have that translate to native elements. But the thing that I want to focus in on is that you have done that inside of NativePHP as a first party core primitive of the tool. So there's no like external dependency to add in. There's no third party that you're reaching out to and hoping that they keep these things up to date with everything else. It's just there.
Yep.
That's pretty
Thanks.
cool. That's pretty cool. This is working
Which-
now.
Which allows us to do things like this. Now you can't really see that this is liquid glass, but this is actually liquid glass. So what I did, we have this thing called a stack. A stack allows you to stack things on top of each other. All right. So I've got a stack, and inside of this, I'll just go full ham on this. We've got a scroll view with an image inside of it, and this is just pulling from some National Geographic, whatever. So now you can see liquid glass. And because it's inside of a scroll view, I can pan this around and we can see this actually adapting.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the background of this, it's a little frosty. Well, iOS has a modifier called clear. So we can make it a clear glass element. And now it's clear.
Ouch! That's amazing. It does say this is amazing. It has been telling us that from the beginning. Yeah.
If I click on this, it's kind of boring. It doesn't do much, but I would love if it was another iOS official modifier called interactive.
What?
Yeah. Interactive.
Oh.
So there's a little flicker there, but on an actual device, it doesn't do that. So this is just like in the simulator. I spent like 5 hours trying to figure out what that was, but it's
what do you mean the flicker?
I don't know if you can see the background. Oh, what happened?
Like the little...
If I click on this, it's kind of boring. It doesn't do much, but I would love if it was another iOS official modifier called interactive. So
don't
Did I
know.
stop sharing?
No, I
What
think
did
it
I do?
just the browser took over for some
Oh, I
reason.
must have clicked into the browser. So I don't know if you can see the background of the button itself, but it's like it kind of
Oh,
flickers
it sort of
after.
highlights a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it
Okay.
does like that is fine, but when I release, there's like a little bit of a
Yeah, it
flicker.
sort of
Anyway, it's just on
hangs
the
around and
simulator.
then disappears. Sure.
Yeah. So lots of cool things that we can
That
do.
is
In
beautiful.
So I want to really take a moment here and show this, how we are doing this. So I've got this little like sync up, whatever. It's simulating like what a chat app could look like. So this is not actually working. It's just like showing that we can, a login page, right? So I just click login
Yeah.
and it takes me to login. So I've got, first of all, I've got this back button. I can go right back into this back. It's like the back stack, right? And then I've also got this it's called a tab bar, liquid glass tab bar. And I got this custom color for the background of that. I've got little badges. I've got a little news indicator, etc. I can go into these different views and I can see stuff. I also can like scroll down. And then if I click on this again, it's going to scroll up automatically, which is like the native iOS behavior to scroll. It's native behavior because it's literally native. There's no hack here. We're literally doing native mobile development.
Yeah.
Right.
Duh.
And then if I go into like this recent chats, if I go into Sarah Miller here, you can see like that tab bar is gone completely. We've also got new items up here, and look at the little transition. Just watch this area up here. When I click on this, how that animates in and out.
Did you have to do anything to make that animate, or
Nope.
is it just so
that's just how it
something
works.
that Apple is doing for you because you're using native elements and they can
That's right.
tell. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
See,
and so
that's the kind of stuff that you have to think really hard on doing in JavaScript if you weren't doing it natively.
Yep.
Wow.
So we've also got like these buttons don't actually do anything. In fact, these buttons don't really actually do anything. But if I click on them, they are wired to functions, and I'm going to show you the code for that. So it's like starting video. I think this one also says starting video instead of starting a call. No, it says starting call. This one is like just an ellipsis, icon,
Yeah,
but it opens a menu. It's opens a real menu, so you can see the whole animation here.
So we want to
doing
see
whatever
how you
want
define
to.
all of that in Blade, basically.
And I will tell you, this is also cool. Yeah. All right. So the keyboard didn't show up here, but you can see that like this is also liquid glass. It's pinned to the bottom and all that stuff. So that actually took me quite a bit of time to figure this out. And actually, I made a new component to wrap this stuff.
You can make this simulator show the keyboard, I think.
Yeah, probably. I don't want to take the time for that because I've got stuff I want to show you. So let's take a look at the code here. Let's go to web.php and let's go to, this is the native sync stuff. Native, what is it? Native
sync up.
Yeah, hang on a second. Sync up native. That's it. Sync up native. Oh, well, I was already there mostly. Here we go. All right. So we have a group, and this is how, so far, this is the way that things are working. And I really feel like if you go to like React Native, how they do stuff, it's similar in concept, but this is the Laravel way of doing things. So we have this native group. Now, I pass a class initially into it for the layout. I think that you could also just do like layout like this as a named whatever. I think you actually can just do that anyway, but this tabs layout has a couple methods. Number one, it's using native Chrome, which is telling it that we're using the native Chrome versus, actually, I can't remember where we left off with this, at what point we were at. But blank. I think that it gives you not liquid glass, but the older traditional, like older iOS stuff. So let's see here. Yeah, so you can see this is not liquid glass and this is not liquid glass anymore. So you can go with like traditional tabs. You see that? You see that?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's freaking cool. So like if you go to like X, for example, Twitter, they don't have liquid glass. They're not using liquid glass. Not everybody does. People might want to use it. People might not want to use it. They might want a custom whatever for that. So this is the attempt in going in that direction to allow for both. We could change this
Cool.
to maybe a different function because it's not going to be consistent with Android. Android doesn't have liquid glass or whatever, but anyway, we'll get there. All right, so we have the nav bar, which is this top bar, and we're saying, hey, we've got each screen that we pass into this. So we have a native component that we can pass into this. We can call a function called nav title on each one of them, and they can set their own title. So this one's called sync up, but this one is called Sarah Miller, which is the name of the person that we went into. This one's called sync up also. It's just friends, but they just have the same method there, but we can override those. And then we have a subtitle of all caught up, which is not visible for some reason. So I'm just going to ignore that. We also are saying, hey, we want back buttons. And that's it. So that's the back button that we have here. And then I'm going to show you how this kind of overrides some of that stuff in a moment. We also have a tab bar. So this is the bottom tab bar. We have this active color here. So if I change this to, I don't know, let's just change one and like this 089 to 0, I don't know, 67.
Yeah.
And let's
I
change
want that
B
to be a tailwind color.
C. We can get there. That would be nice. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just not there right now.
Yeah.
So we changed it to something. I don't know what we changed it to, but it's something. Let's see. It's blue. It's like a blue color. More blue.
Kind of blue.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of nice.
Always blue. Always blue. Always blue.
All right, shut up now. We'll just add another one in here, just so we can see a difference. And this one's going to say Simon. We'll say Estrella. And then this is person2.fill. We're going to change some of this. It's going to be like SF icons and Android icons or whatever, but we took the news icon off of that one too. So like, again, just think of what we're doing here. Full hot reload, native stuff going on here. And it's like fully inside of Laravel. So here we go. Estrella.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, it will be so good when we get the hot reloading, like staying on the page that you, like the screen that you're on, and just like, evolving the current view. That would be amazing.
So this route, this is this one here. So this is sync up native chat and then specifying some chat ID, right? And that's going to go into this class. So let's take a look at this. How are we overriding some of this stuff? Well, we have this function that anything can use. So here's that nav title, first of all. So it's setting this friend name, and that's it. We can put Simon here. Simon says, and it's like a static thing now. But then we have this navigation options. So we have to return this navbar options. And we've got all of these things. This is allowing us to override any parts of this that we want to. So we've got a nav action, and we're specifying there's like an ID. I just did something. There we go. So we've got an icon. We have a video. Oh, there's something else here I did. Hang on a second. There we go. And then when you press this, it's going to call this start video function. You probably could get away with like an inline function here also, because that's just what these things do. But this start video function is just right here, and we're just saying dialog toast. This is like a native PHP, just the same facade, same everything that we would have done in the past. It's just doing the same thing. All of those things work. And actually I spent not quite a bit of time. The event lifecycle, so broadcasting it back into native, also works as well. So all that's already wired up. All of the plugins are just going to work with native components. So we have video, we have call. So video.fill. I wonder if there's like a video not fill in a phone. Like I don't want them to be filled. Let's see if we can do that.
Will it crash if they're not available
though? Yeah, it will. Well, no, it'll have like some sensible whatever. But you can see like all of the different stuff that we have here, and we can add more, like an event, icon, items, label, press, URL, to elements. So you can just like cast it back to the element itself. I want to add like color, active color, inactive color, stuff like that. Like we're going to expand on all this stuff. It's just preliminary. This third one though, it's a native action called more. It's got an ID, taking an ellipsis icon, and then it's got an array of items. And so these are just more nav actions that we're passing into this that are just more items. icon label. When you press, they're going to call this function. Mark all as read. Mark all read doesn't exist. So let's add this real quick. Mark as read.
That feels very filament-esque to me. Like there's nested
Yeah.
objects, and it's very nice.
So we'll do another dialogue. Toast, mark all read. So let that all reload. So we change the name to Simon.
Yeah. We see if the icons
Simon
render.
says, all right, so those still render, but they're still solid. So I want to fix that. But this now, if I click mark all red, there we go. So we got that, all that press. Dude, I'm like so happy with all of this. I'm so
really,
happy
really
about
good.
this stuff. Like there's more that we have to do still. Like I really want to get to like where we can do like wire poll, like native poll, to just like listen for things. I want to get WebSockets hooked up to all this and see how that all interacts. I want to get Android caught up. Android is not very far behind. It is behind, but it's not very far behind. And it's just everything's different there because there's no glass and all that stuff. So, hi Simon. Yeah, dude. So I think the other part of this too is like, and I've shown this maybe before, like we've got typography and colors, and we've got like, there's a whole, I'll show you this. We have our own like native UI config. So it's a theme in light and dark mode. So we have light mode and dark mode. We have these things. And if I pull this down, I don't think I have dark. Where is that? How do I change this to dark?
Oh, yeah, you can't. I can't remember. I think it's under features or device or something.
Toggle appearance?
Yes, that's it. Command Shift.
So so we have these like primary on primary. So primary is like you can do stuff like, let me search for theme primary, BG theme primary, for example. BG theme primary. So now you can just use this anywhere and have it kind of like, well, it's like a theming class, right? It just allows you to do these things, but it allows you to be interactive based on whatever theme that the user's in. So I don't have to think about if I'm in dark mode or if I'm not in dark mode. I can define them all in one spot. Again, this is a prototype. And I kind of like it because it does allow you to like from one place change all the colors everywhere, right? So if I just want to change all of my app theme colors to blue from green or something, I can just do that, right?
It's kind of like the I haven't really used it directly, but in Tailwind, you can define a lot of this stuff as variables in a style sheet basically now, can't you? So I can kind of imagine that becoming more like that, where we actually do just use a file that looks like a style sheet, but the way that it's interpreted on our side is it's not being rendered by the browser. We're ingesting it into these classes, these sort of fakey Tailwind classes. That's cool. Yeah, it's very slick, dude. It's very slick.
Icons, these are pretty standard, like just SF icons. Layout in Canvas. So this is like, flex 1, this one's 60 wide, this one's 100, and this just flex 1s between. It takes up all the available space with a gap between them. This is stacks. These are actually shape primitives. This is like Canvas, so you can do like any shape you can think to do. Activity indicators, and on Android they're like the Android activity indicators. Spacer, it's kind of like a flex 1, but it's with spacers. You can do like, these are just like different ways you can envision doing the mockup, the bottom nav, the tab bars. All right, so I again told, oh, there's more, dude. There's so much more.
There's always more.
There's always more. Yeah, see, like just different buttons and like
I love how reactive
icons.
everything is, like just so quickly.
Well, native, dude, native.
Yeah, but it's all happening through PHP.
All through PHP. Native.
It's wild.
Native PHP. That's it.
Yeah, it's in the name. It was in the name from the beginning. We got there. We did it.
We did it.
We said we were gonna, and we did.
There's also like swipe back. So what's really cool if you remember, I said like we have like you
Yes.
have these two, the double buffering, and we have like we can compare two trees to see what the diff is. Well, that means that both trees are technically in memory simultaneously, and we can just do this because we're pulling from that other tree, the original tree.
Nice.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's not like a screenshot we're trying to mimic. It's actually whatever was in that tree before. And it's like it just works. It just works. And then you got like things that can interact. So this can actually interact with this. So that's like an emoji that doesn't render on the sim, but it's a highlighted star. It's just a colored in star
Right.
emoji, whatever. And then this works as well. That was native Chrome tabs. So this is really cool. I love this. So they're called accessories on iOS. So as I scroll down, you can see it just pops down into place.
Yep.
On the real device, there we go. When you pull up fast enough, then it goes back into place. But you go down here, you can click this, you can go to profile, you can come back. And yeah, this is just like a really long list of things.
That's very cool. So basically, well, that's another thing to highlight actually, which I find quite interesting, that in the world of React Native and Flutter, they haven't really got proper full access to all of the liquid glass stuff at the moment.
Well, well, a lot of their stuff's alpha, and to be fair, ours is too. But
that's fair.
Like, I just wanted to see, like, can we go down this road? Is this something that's gonna be a hindrance later to us or something? And so far, there's been not everything's fleshed out. We're again alpha, whatever, but no, there's not been anything that we can't think to do or figure out to do. It's all readily available to us. It's just a matter of doing it.
We're basically just wrapping those components that are platform specific components in our own Blade syntax and just wiring up all of the pieces to make it exposed to you so that you can use it through Blade, right? That isn't a heavy job, and you'll get most of it done very, very quickly once the core things are working for everybody. So like, I just see that being, it's basically done. The fact that you've demonstrated it is not, it's not alpha or whatever. It's just like, and it's not like Flutter is like having to recreate liquid glass or do their version of it because they're not tapping into the real rendering of the platform. So you've got this sort of, if you wanted liquid glass, if you wanted to take advantage of the native elements of the platform on Flutter, you can't. I mean, you probably can bypass, but like their natural primitives for those things don't look anything like it, and they behave differently, and also they're like not very good. So we're getting all of that out of the gate. Native PHP is better. That's it. That's the takeaway for me. There's a few questions. That have been flying in. I've been waiting for you to go through the bits. So we'll go. The one that I wanted to do first was Vince. So we were talking about Tailwind-like classes appearing everywhere, and Vince said, could it create confusion when expected classes are not in the mapping?
Say that again.
Could it create confusion when expected classes are not in the mapping?
No, they will just get skipped. So it won't create confusion. It'll create confusion in your own mind, but that's where documentation comes into place. And honestly, like getting some like more support from JetBrains. They've already done some work with us on the native edge stuff. Like getting more support for those things, or like highlighting like certain classes if you're inside of like a native button, for example, and you're trying to do transition effect or something. Like we don't have that now, maybe we will later, maybe that's a bad example, but like if you try to think of something that you wouldn't actually apply, a border on something that doesn't take a border, anyway, something that doesn't work or wouldn't actually, you can't do that on that element. To have some like syntax highlighting would be pretty cool. So no, I don't think there's going to cause any confusion. Nothing will crash. The other thing I will show too is that you can do, let me share this one. Hide that. So you can do this kind of syntax too. So this column has a height of 72 points. So, and you can also do like it would get overwritten here, but you can do BG dash and then specify like a hex color like that. And it will just take that, because that's all we're doing behind the scenes with this stuff anyway. So not everything is supported like that, but height and width, background, color, like actual just like text, whatever.
It's like
all that stuff works the same way.
Subset of Tailwind. I kind of see, I think, where Vince is coming from, and I can imagine people just go, "Oh, it's Tailwind, and so I can do all of these things," and it just doesn't work. And then you're like, "Why isn't it working the way that I want it to work?" And it's, well,
that will happen.
The underlying native primitive doesn't support
for sure
that kind of styling, so it's never going to work. But I think we can kind of get around that. As you said, it's documentation more than anything else, and just like being aware of what's possible. And I think we can get around some of it by being explicit that it's not Tailwind. It looks like Tailwind, and it in some parts will behave similarly to, because it's convenient. But I think we might have to even call it something else. Like there's native wind we were talking about. Maybe we come up with a moniker
tail
for it.
Super tail.
It's like
I will show you this too. So I have started working on the docs for the super native stuff. This is just local for now, but edge components.
Yeah, loads of them. Look at all those. Ugh, beautiful.
And so like you can see, I don't know why that, oh, it's going slow for whatever reason, but you can see like different props that you can pass in, events. This needs another like going over, and things are changing a lot as I'm making them too.
Yeah, this is why it's really,
and then
doing the docs early is a bit ambitious, but
well, yeah, but I wanted to get it stubbed out or whatever. It's one of these props examples. I'm trying to find like classes that you can use for it. One of these has it, I know. If not, then I'll just skip it. But let me try like a button. I think button. Where's button? There's button. It's pretty cool. Ghost, primary, secondary, destructive, size, icon trailing, disabled, loading. This is accessibility labels that map right to Android and iOS. It's already done for accessibility.
Brilliant.
We actually had to do a lot of refactoring in order to support that. But it's like, what's the best way to do this out of the box? Like what's the right first best step to do that kind of stuff? And so this is not the Tailwind classes. So I'll get it. So like all the ones that are supported are in here, but it's a good thing to say. Like everything that we're doing in Blade. So we have native : Blade, native : button, and then you pass whatever props or whatever you want to for that. They really just render down to these classes. So you can do this inside of, stop sharing that. Go back to here.
Yeah, just like inside of your controller, or not really a controller, but inside the class behind a screen.
Yes. So if I go back into like this sync up native chat, so inside of this render, if I just like return that button and import it, import class, it is the element. It's native or NativePHP. I think it's native mobile. Either one doesn't matter, because it's not. It wasn't that one. It was the other one. Yeah, there you go. So like this will just render that button out. So you can create your whole like columns and like everything in classes if you really wanted to. Like that's what
updated in your simulator.
Oh, you know what? I bet it is. This was on the. Let's go take a look.
chat.
Yep. Let's see. There you go.
There it is. That's
Yeah.
so good. So
Yeah.
actually, then what you're saying is if you didn't like doing it the blade way, you
Could do it
can
all
do
in
it
PHP.
this way, which that's kind of like the way that that Swift UI does it, and Flutter does it as well. These like nested widgets, and it's basically just function calls, chained objects or whatever.
So that's loading. Got to work on loading state, the way that looks, but you can kind of see the little loading indicator there,
Yeah.
activity indicator. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. It's coming along, man. We've got some work to do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know,
that's
there's
what we were
still
just
a lot.
talking about before. But there's a yeah. Thanks, buddy. Wait, this stream has been awesome. Mind blown. Yeah, you guys. In
Stop
fact,
sharing your thing because it's going.
oh no, I'm not going to, because I do want to show you.
Oh, right. Okay.
I want to change this I to an A. And know that it's behind. It is behind, but this is where I'm going to be spending the next few days anyway.
They
is
came
working
from
on
behind.
gross. Is on Android stuff. So give this a minute to boot. I will say I've spent probably 4 or 5 days working on like just liquid glass stuff and all the all of that kind of stuff. And so that's going to be the stuff that will look weird or different on this. So it's not at all meant to be like, this is a great demo of this, but it will show like where we're at with things. So should be good. We'll give it a second to boot. When this is ready and going with jump fully, it's good. That's the last thing to do really, because we have to rebuild jump for it, but it's gonna work, dude. It already, like, I can scan the QR code for this now with jump and it just works. Just
crazy.
missing components. Yup. It's exciting, dude. This has been like the culmination. Like, we've been saying this for so long, like someday here is that day. Here it is.
No, I mean, like we know that it needed to be there. I remember going, it was probably this time last year we were talking first about, we'll probably get to native UI at some point in the next couple of years. Because in my head, I'm thinking there are so many performance layers that we've got to blast through to get to that before we can even think about doing it. And then we did some of the experimentation with it when we did edge components, the first set of edge components. And we saw like, this is not going to be fast enough to do all of this stuff. And sure enough, it's forced our hand to doing the performance pieces, which have proven viable, which is like the first. I was sort of scared. Are we even going to be able to get PHP to get that level of performance without sort of hamstringing people's ability to build stuff? But
it is so surprising. It was, like, honestly, like we have those. We don't know what we have no idea what to expect here. All we can do is say, like, let's get it to work. Let's improve on that. Let's point out problems to Claude and tackle these things one at a time, block after block. And this is the culmination. I use that word twice now, of those efforts. Why did this fail? Ooh, we got a failure.
So that's
that was
interesting.
A lot of waiting for nothing.
Who was it? Miguel was on here earlier saying, I can't get it to run super native at all for Android. So yeah, it looks like you're bumping into the same problem.
I'll tell Claude about this. We will fix it.
If Miguel, if you're still around, Miguel, he'll get sorted now that Shane knows about it.
Well, this is my next area to look into these things. So yeah. All right. Well, I'll show you the demo of what I've got already, so you can see, like,
Yeah.
this is all working.
Yeah.
This is previously installed, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
buttons, card chip. I mean, it's all the same kind of stuff, right? You got all this going on, and you can go down and whatever.
It's good that it all kind of looks similar as well. Like I was expecting the to be vastly different in the layout and things, but it looks close.
Yeah, it
Like
doesn't
it's not going
need
to
to
be
be.
pixel perfect, right? But it's
Well, no, and you don't want it to be. You want Jetpack Compose to render the layout and the elements the way that Jetpack Compose does it versus Swift UI, right? So they
yeah.
are similar. They are essentially doing the same things, but we're not rendering down to a common implementation of like this is just how
Yeah. We're
how it
letting the
works
system
for
do what it
that
does.
OS.
Yeah.
Yep. And now, in addition to that, everything is kind of overridable. So you can, because we created the primitives for these elements, not our, like, for example, we talked about this. I backtracked on a lot of things because I was making like a checkbox component, which was an icon that has a background,
Mm.
a checkbox icon that has a background color and a foreground color that changes on state change with a spacer of 12 points and then some text at a certain height. And it's like, no, don't do that. Just make the icon, the spacer to be flexible, and the text to be whatever definition that user wants. Make the primitives, and then we just tell AI, all right, here's the primitives, go build the thing, instead of giving what we think that should look like. So all of that's ripped out in favor of primitives. So you can build anything you want to.
I think that there's the important thing there is that there are primitives which are basically the same across both platforms, right? It's like you're drawing a shape, you're giving it some color, you may be applying some behaviors to it, like how it animates or whatever. And fundamentally, those things, although they might not be implemented in the same way, the goal is to behave in a similar fashion across both Android and iOS. And so you don't really need to come and create a whole new set of things to mimic all of that. You just want to use those things. Then when it comes to the platform specific components, like they are going to differ. Like you were saying, there is a checkbox on Android, but there isn't such a concept on iOS, right? They use the toggle more so than a checkbox. And so it's like, okay, you just have to know which one you're going to use depending on which platform you're on. And what we don't want to do is get into the territory of sort of re-implementing those components. And I don't think other people do either. I don't think you as the developer want to re-implement those components, because a lot of thought has gone into the primitive components that they've built, not just primitives, but like a checkbox in accessibility and the different states and behaviors and all of these different things. And you re-implement that for yourself, you're going to miss a lot of it. It's going to take a lot of extra work just to get it to the same state. So you really want to be using what the platforms provide as much as possible, and then only creating custom stuff where the design of the application really requires it to be custom. And of all of the apps that I've used, and I don't use many apps these days, but the apps that I typically use, they don't stray very far from like very basic normal components. And I kind of want them to look and feel like they do for the platform, so that it's like, oh, I know how this behaves. I know what I'm doing here. If I see an app that suddenly looks like custom, it's like, now I've got to go and learn all of these. Potentially, I've got to learn a bunch of new behaviors that are unexpected and weird. And Flutter apps are like that, because essentially they're trying to build a framework that lets you reuse the same UI across both platforms, right? And even the web views, in that sense, it kind of gives you too much freedom. I'm not saying we're not giving freedom to design apps how people want, because I think that is still critical. But it's almost like if you have too much freedom design wise, you end up going way off the path of like what's user friendly. And I think the most user friendly is like staying true to what the platform provides, basically.
Luke Towers, you missed. You got to go back and rewind, dude. We're already over by 20 minutes, and we haven't even talked about the other points that we wanted to talk
No,
about.
I was going to say we should stay on and go through some more stuff because people can stick around if they want, but there's like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we've got to go through, and you definitely have to go back, Luke. It's
yeah, dude.
There's this whole thing has been mega.
Yeah, actually, only a couple of notes here, to be honest. One is mostly technical. Is our first sponsor for the Vibes.
Ooh, that's nice.
So they're sponsoring the Vibes, which is cool, and that's going to open the door, I think, for more people to come in also to sponsor.
Do we have them on the site yet?
Nope, we've got to do that. I will also say that sponsorships, we're only looking to cater to like 100 to 150 people. So if you want to go and you want to sponsor, sponsorships start at $250, and that comes with a free ticket. And if you've already paid for a ticket and you want to sponsor to help out, which we desperately need, we're losing money, lots of money on this, but it's going to be awesome. Like we went into that knowing that that's a possibility, but yeah, we can work with you if you're wanting to pay the difference or something like that. We would absolutely love it. If you're interested, anybody. So they start at $250. We're only asking up to $1,000. Obviously, you can do more than that, but that would be very helpful.
Please tell us that $1,000 is not enough, and we'll figure something out.
We would appreciate it. So yeah, there's that, and then the other item was Telegram. Simon had a little oh my god moment a couple of days ago, and he was kind of floored. He showed me his screen for whatever. I'm like, dude, go create a new group between me and whoever. And he's like, where do I create a group? And he couldn't find. I'm like, the button right there. And I'm like, dude, what version of freaking Telegram are you on? He was on version 6, and everybody else in the world is on version 12. And
I couldn't believe it.
He was for like 2 days after, he was like, I feel like I'm in a new world altogether. Like, Telegram is amazing. I can see sounds, like
I can taste the colors. It was I honestly, I don't even know how this has happened, right? I remember like this is new. I set this up as no, I didn't set this up as a new computer. I do know how this has happened. And if Craig Anderson is listening to this episode ever in like 2 years from now, when he finally goes back through all of our back catalog of stuff, and he's listening to this bit, he's going to go, see, I told you.
Yeah.
It's because I restored my Mac from my old Mac. And so it just passed on the software. And you're the same. You're like, you do it from
scratch. Blow it all away, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time.
So it turns out that there are actually two. This is so crazy. This is really crazy. If you run a product company that does software, don't ever end up in this scenario. They are running 2 tracks of Telegram desktop that support Mac. They've got one that's called Telegram for Mac, which, it's in the name. And they've got another one that's just called Telegram Desktop. And that's like a cross-platform thing. And that's the one that's on version 6 something still, and is barely getting any updates. And every time it would show me that there's an update, and I would update, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on the latest Telegram again. This is sweet. And then, and then I find out that I'm like 6 whole versions behind. It's like,
he's back in 1997 version of Telegram.
So, and then I switched to this new one, and I'm like, oh my God, like the buttons are in the right place. The graphics are all like sharper, and everything's like way better. and I'm just, where have you been all my life? It blew my,
Welcome
like, I shouldn't
to
have been that
20.
excited by it, but
Well, here's the other interesting piece of this. I started going into, I'm like, wait a minute. I started looking at different apps that are on the App Store on Mac, and I saw there's like there's like two or three, and they're by different
yeah,
companies. And so I was like, does Telegram have like just an open API that you can build any app for? And they do. And so
yeah.
we're like, we could build our own Telegram that's using all Telegram's backend stuff to build our own Telegram app with native PHP desktop and mobile. Like we can build our own implementation of this.
I could have made it better by myself.
You could have
Didn't have to put up with all of this for such a long
like,
time.
wait, version 1 is better than version 12? Yes, because it's
Yeah.
Simon's version 1. Yeah, dude. So it's pretty interesting. Like I was looking into that API. Like we don't have enough time for anything, but that is something interesting to look into, and I think that's something that's going to warrant some of our time at some point because it's a cool idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
the sync up app, we haven't really explained any of that, but that looked quite fleshed out. Excuse me.
I mean, there's no functionality there, but it just
No, but
that was
like,
just
as an
so
idea.
you want to know how I made this? Fuck Stitch, dude. I told Stitch I want to make a chat app called Sync Up. These are the colors that I like. This is how it's gonna flow. It's not anything more or less. And it gave me the mock-ups, just images. I download the images. I took it to Claude. I said, here's the images. Go render it with native components. And it took maybe like 2 or 3 different, like some things were off a little bit or whatever, but that was it. 20 minutes later, I had it was done. This is the new way to build anything.
Yeah, that is cool. I think, I know, knowing where the conversation started around why that even came about. I'm just thinking like the whole chat space feels like there is an opportunity. There is something missing in there. I think, like, actually, for our specific use case, and I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but I don't like Discord. I
don't like Discord.
It's cumbersome, and every time I open it, it tells me to update things, 8 things at a time, and I'm just like, what are you doing? And then it's got all of these twiddly bits and noisy visuals, and I'm just like, this is not how I want this project community to live on this stupid space that's like crazy. But then the alternative is like Slack, and it would cost an absolute mint to have 3,500 people in a community space. So basically your choices are Discord and just be like, can't do anything about all of that rubbish, or Slack and you pay through the nose because you're paying for what's his face, Mark blah blah, to buy a yacht. So I'm like, I don't want either of those things. Why is there not an alternative that's somewhere in the middle? Wow, maybe we should build it. Yeah,
I've said the words before several times, Laragram, and every time I've said that, people think of Instagram, but Laravel feed or something. But I in my mind, I'm thinking Telegram. What's another one like Morse? Like a cool Sync Up. We actually bought the domain. Like we have syncup.app or whatever. So that's it. It's Sync Up. Let's sync up. Yeah. I think that we do BB Forum. Oh my God, dude. What a flashback. Oh my God. If you know BB Forum, you know BB Forum. Oh my God.
If you know BB Forum, you are old.
Yeah. They still use it though. Like I've seen people still using this thing. It's because they made a good implementation for a large user base, WordPress users. You plug and play a bunch of stuff and it just kind of appears on your screen. You don't have to think about it until you have, cross script injections and like stuff you don't intend for it to happen. Um,
I'm not saying you're old, Scott, by the way. You're a
a
beautiful
gentleman and a scholar.
human.
You are beautiful, beautiful, strong, powerful
What was
man.
the other one? It wasn't BB Forum. There was
I was trying to think of that too.
damn it.
Which one? Which one? Tell me. It was WordPress.
It was
WordPress plugin.
Yeah, isn't that BB Forum? Wasn't that the
Yeah.
WordPress plugin one?
Yeah.
BB
WordPress.
Forum versus I can't remember what it's called. PHP BB. That was the one.
Oh,
That was the one that I used. I loved
used
that
BB.
one. But they were basically all written in PHP, you know? Every one of those forum softwares that were like open source that you could just install on B
'Cause PHP is
Bulletin,
awesome.
PHP BB, obviously it's in the name. The one that I think everybody uses nowadays for that is Discourse. But I don't.
That's the one I've most recently seen, but I don't know. Like, what is did he roll his own? I know Laracast used to use Discourse, but I think he's got his own system now. I think he was doing stuff like that. It was Discourse a long time ago. I don't know if it still is.
Has anybody done one on like, well, I don't know if internet forums are still a thing now, actually, because maybe everybody just goes with Discord instead, but yeah,
all right.
It doesn't matter.
I think the room is empty enough now to talk about the real thing that we were potentially going to keep a secret. A new product idea. Actually, we've got like 5 product ideas. So this is the one that we're going to talk about today, which is, and you kind of hinted towards it already, and Shruti kind of agreed to the likeness that some of this stuff that we're building feels or could feel very filament-like. And that's I feel like what we're building now with Super Native is like building Livewire. And then Filament is like this abstraction on top of it that has really blown, like you don't even feel like you're doing Livewire, you're doing this whole other framework, right? That's using that under the hood. And I think that there is some of the things that we're doing, like the nav bars and the top nav and all that stuff, does feel like that. But if we could do forms, tables, imagine just like we've got forms, baby. But imagine if like you just like install this package that's using Super Native under the hood, and you can just very quickly prototype a dashboard sort of app that's automatically hooked up to some URL. You specify some theming colors, some icons in certain places, and make it very like top level, high level, to implement and build a real full native application. And I feel like there's huge room for that, whether it's a paid product or not. That's not the goal of this at all. I mean, we need revenue for some of these ideas, especially, but I do feel like that can bring in huge adoption to the whole architecture in general, and ways to like, yeah, there you go, Shruti. She got a filament for Super Native PHP.
Shruti knows.
You get it. You see it. So right off the bat, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea to just define like a resource, right? Or something similar to a resource, or panel, maybe not panels. Like we have to define what those things would be, but it's similar in concept to just very fluid. You already did. You just did it. You're done. You can't do it again.
So I think there are a few ways to like think about that problem. But if we go like when we were talking about it earlier, you know, there's this not the Super Native stuff, but because of what's happening with Jump and how now you can essentially just load an app from a URL. What you actually could end up with is that the client, although it's a fully native app, a super native app, is still just a thin client, and it's all it's doing is just loading models essentially over the network. It's just you're making API calls to a server. So the server is still driving the content of the app. And now it's also doing a little bit of the UI, and maybe even behavior. We get into that, like the socket that's able to use that wire protocol or whatever. But let's just say for now, it's not that. It's just the data. So the content of the app. If that's all driven by the server and you're just relying upon the server, then it's really just an API around your Laravel models, which is all Filament is. On the one side, it's like it's tapping into
Oh.
Eloquent and it's doing all the filtering and it's making all these accessible things. And then it's got the UI part, and Filament
Dude.
uses Alpine and Livewire to drive all of that.
What if you did
It's
like
the
on your
same.
model, if you made a model, like specifying if it should be local or if it should be API based, like extends native API or whatever, or local API, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Or by default, it's going to be local, but then you can like have a trait or something that hijacks the save and the update and like all the methods and just passes it through to the endpoint that you specify in some config or something.
Yep. I'd done exactly that 8 years ago. So I created this whole API layer.
You built
across
NativePHP dude, why don't we use all of that work to build? Why are we building this now then? I don't understand. You did mobile, you did a NativePHP app in native already 8 years ago. They didn't have cell phones back then.
No, the API layer stuff is what I'm talking about. So like this, where you could define the model. You could just say in a model, okay, this is basically an API model now. We'd probably do it slightly differently, honestly. I was instead of inheriting model, extending the model class, I was extending my own class, which was an extension of the model, which enabled all of this stuff. But you'd probably do it with like attributes or something now. And so you just use the existing models that you have and expose a bunch of things. I'm sure there's loads of tools that do this for just creating an API, but if we could do it as like a nice primitive, again, a server-based package that just gives you the control as the developer, the control over the features that you want to expose to this native application, and then we could ship all of that configuration over the wire to this shell, and the shell would just like render just the same way that Filament does, and suddenly you'd have access to do all of the stuff with all of the things. It'd be great.
So feasible. So what Scott just said, do that but mobile first, then syncs with So it's not actually like you have to specify this is like an API model. Everything's going to write local. It just syncs with API kind of trait that you bring in, and it just knows, all right, that means it has a last sync that column, nullable date timestamp kind of thing, and then it knows to sync with some route, some API route at the end of the day, and mark itself and take care of all that stuff. Yes. Yep. Make it easy.
We're just like busting with ideas.
We're not even talking about the real big ones.
It's crazy. There's actually, like, if people just listen to this stream, there's so many products that they could go and build just off the back of what we've said.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Go and build it. I want to see it. Like, I want to build this stuff, but
nothing's stopping anybody.
Like,
we're free and open source. Even all the element, the super native, whatever, it's all out there.
It's all there.
GitHub.com/nativephp/super-native. Yep. Yeah, baby. Just like that. That's what she said.
Yeah, baby.
So I want to say, Luke, that icon of yours, I see that it's LT now, but it kind of reminds me of one of those stools at the bars in the airports. I think that's a good thing. I'll say that. It makes me want to travel.
It's missing the little foot stand bit at the bottom. That's the only.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
And of course, like a drink and a bar.
You lose. Well, yeah, but it's getting there. It's the abstract, right?
It's on its way.
Winter CMS for native PHP. We can talk about this, dude. We can talk about all sorts of stuff. But Yeah. Yeah, and actually different flavors of apps predefined. Those should be our starter kits. A chat app, social media app, um but what's another common, a to-do notes app or whatever.
Mm.
Like a bunch of like starter kits of like examples of apps, real world apps that you can build on top of, iterate on top of. The starter kits now for Laravel, they're really just login and dashboard. Like that's it, right?
Yeah, maybe not
A
even.
lightning bolt. Oh, I don't see that at all.
He's got very poor eyesight, Luke. So he probably
That's
just
true.
needs to increase his screen resolution a bit more, and then he'll get there. But
Music player app. That's a good one. Yeah, actually. Yep. Yeah, I keep thinking of like web-based apps as like well, a chat app is not necessarily, and a whatchamacallit, a social media app. Those are
Yeah.
both. They're, bidirectional in that, but
You're bi-directional.
Luke Towers is going to the Vibes. He bought a ticket the other day. Dude is in the house. Dude is in his house. In fact, I also have an announcement.
Oh, sick. Another one.
I'm pregnant.
Wait,
I
you gotta
forgot
give me.
about
You
this.
gotta let me catch up, man. I feel like
Nope.
there's been so
Nope.
many announcements.
We're gonna have a few special guests at the Vibes. A couple people are special guests and they don't even realize that they're special guests yet. We have to let them know.
You're a special guest.
I'm not going. I can't make it. I wish.
Come on.
I'll try.
Loser.
We have Laravel Daily, AI Daily. Pavlos Korup himself is making a special entrance and will be hanging out with us after speaking at Laracon US. He's going to hang out at the Vibes with us.
That's so
He's
cool.
a speaker. Yep. He's announced the other day. And he will be with us. There's a couple other people too. Dan Heron may show up.
Oh,
I know Mary Perry was the first one to buy a ticket. She's also Laracon speaker. She's going to be there. Yep. So like I said, she doesn't know she's a special guest, but I got to let her know.
Does now.
She's got to prepare another talk about NativePHP.
Just saying, like, the little day 3 event that is attracting a significant proportion of Laracon speakers to the day.
There's a couple other speakers at Laracon that I am going to invite over as well. We'll see if they come, if they can make it. Like Freak.
Pretty sure we can get a few more people in there.
I think we
and have
we're
them
definitely going to.
Maybe not just have them as more warmly welcomed guests than other attendees, but actually like maybe saying a word or two or showing some stuff. Like I know that Povilas has built stuff, Mary's built stuff, Frake is building stuff with NativePHP.
I talked with Mary. Mary's daughter, she said, comes up with these app ideas all the time. She's like, I love NativePHP. She showed me her Twitter. She's like, I'm only subscribed to it's like NativePHP and like one other. She's like, that's the only notification I get from Twitter from NativePHP. She like builds apps out with her daughter and on NativePHP. She loves it, which is really cool to hear. I'm like blown away. It's so cool because our heads are in this all the time to hear the sentiment of people that are like, they see it, they get it, they're using it, they understand. Like everyone
and
here,
that they're
like
actually having success with it. Like I keep seeing people posting on LinkedIn, people I don't really know, saying like, I've launched my app, and they've tagged NativePHP or they're deploying it to the store or whatever. And I'm like, this is so freaking cool, man. I'm so glad that we built something that people are actually able to use and they're having success with getting their products out there in front of people.
It is a dream. It is a dream that I've had for a long time. It's a desire. We've talked before NativePHP before I was ever involved with it officially at all. We talked for months about that. Like, what drives us as people, and what I would love to be a conference speaker, but I am so bad, at public speaking and shaky and all this crap. And I got over that pretty quick.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to get to the next one,
Yeah.
So actually, shout out for PHP Tech Chicago. I'll be there next week, the week after. I'm speaking on day 2 at 10 a.m., I think, in the ballroom, the main big ballroom. They were giving me a full 50 minutes, and believe it or not, I could not pack it all in to 50 minutes. So I'm still adjusting my talk for that.
Say fewer words, do that thing that, what's his name in The Office when he said, why say many word when few word do? Kevin. I love that.
Yep. That'd be cool. A whole conference talk in Kevin Malone caveman style.
If you could pull it off without like losing it halfway through, that'd be great.
Scott, John, please, if you, I tell everybody, like, buy a ticket to the Vibes, even if you can't make it. We need the cash, so just buy a ticket to the Vibes.
If you've already got a ticket, just buy another one. It's fine.
Actually, dude. Yeah. New York. I forgot to talk even about the freaking New York trip. Oh my God. I was just in New York City for the Laravel Roadshow. I met up with, Bomi. Her name's Bomi. Cadence 1.5. Cadence 15? No, it's 1.5. I think it's spelled out. Came up to me and she's like, Shane, NativePHP. I met her in Buffalo at the Wire Live. Chuck, one of her employees, super fan of NativePHP. They're not doing enough with it because they're just busy as life would have it. She invited me to her office. It's a little cubicle at the NYU building in Brooklyn. So I went there the next morning, met up with her and the other guy, I think his name was Jason, that works there. And then they had like a stand up for the day. And
so you went to their stand up?
I went to, she's like, we have a special guest, Shane Rose, a celebrity, apparently. That's what she called me. And she's like, he's going to talk to us about NativePHP. And none of the Laravel people were in that meeting. It was all like non-techie people. So I got to talk for about an hour about very low level tech that just practicing my talk, taking the opportunity.
Loving it.
They loved it. Couldn't wait to dig in.
Yeah.
So but it was really cool. I told her about, I'm like, are you going to come to the Vibes? She's like, what's the vibe? I'm like, I told her about it. She's like, we're not going to US, but she's in New York. Boston's that far away. I'm like, she's like, I don't want to buy tickets for all of that, but maybe we'll just buy tickets for the Vibes and just skip Laracon and just come to the Vibes.
What?
To hang out.
Then just come for the Vibes.
Yeah. So she's not confirmed or guaranteed or anything like that yet. I'm going to reach out to her a couple more times and see.
I'm sure you can,
if she's interested.
Sweeten her up.
Yeah. Take the train, drive the car.
Come on,
whatever.
It'll be fun.
It's a couple hours, 4-hour drive or something like that. You can make it.
Oh, I've been thinking we're going to do some giveaways, man. We're going to do everybody, not just like, we've got to do it. Basically, I want people to go away from this thing and be like, I'm going to build a native PHP app, because I think we can give them all of that energy to do it. And maybe we can even get them started on the day. Who knows? We have to work out a schedule for the day or something, because I think we need to plan out some stuff. But I want to give stuff away. I'm in a giving mood. I think we should give people.
It's the Australia talking there, buddy. Just
it is.
Simmer down. We're giving away like 8 grand in catering or something.
Take it all.
Jeez. All right, that's it, guys. That's a wrap. Thanks so much.
Gotta shut him up,
Simon. We're gonna talk after this.
No, do you know? Okay, there's still 2 things on our list that we. No, don't shut me up. No.
There's 2 things on our list. You must have just added something to our list.
I did. I've added loads of stuff. Yeah, I just keep on adding. No, but there's the one thing that we've come here to do we haven't done yet, unless you've done it in the background when nobody's been watching.
Nope.
We haven't launched.
You ready?
Anything.
Want to tag it? You ready? You want to show it? You want me to do it? I'll
You
do it,
do
baby.
it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
got it on
gonna
my
do it.
screen, so it's going to
I'm
take me
gonna
like
do
20
it.
minutes because I'm like
I'm gonna
technophobe.
do it. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So number one, numero uno. Let's refresh. Let's take a look at this. Yeah. 3.3.0. Discard the draft. Just kidding.
This is working.
Why can't I click this? What's going on? I can't click this actually. How come I can't click this? That's unclick this. And then wow, that's crazy. They should be bullets then instead of checkboxes. And should just swap. That's so weird. You saw that, right? I can't click this. Oh, I can click that one, but I can't click this one. Oh, they got a bug. Look at that.
That is
But
fun.
then I try to click this and you
when
can't
it
do
should
it.
be
You
a
have to
radio.
unclick.
Yeah.
But no, you can click both though. This one you can't. That's whoever did that. If they that was intentional, would have been very difficult logic to figure out unless Claude did it. That's crazy.
Oh man, let's not highlight just how bad GitHub is getting any more than they've already
All right.
done themselves.
That's out there. Now let's also go to Bifrost Jump app. Release this version to 175
Everywhere.
countries. Done. And now I can check Google. Let's see if this is updated. May or may not be. Still in review. This is ready. And in fact, I'm going to just have this automatically. I'm not going to push the button myself.
Yeah.
When it's
just let
ready,
it
it's
roll
going to
out.
go out V2. Don't forget to clear your cache and check for updates on Google if you're on Google. We're done, dude. That's it. That's that. It's out there.
That
It
is
is out
crazy.
there.
That is crazy. Oh. So I think that probably is it. I'm not going to say the last thing because it's just going to be. No, I am going to say the last thing. I'm going to say the last thing because it needs to be. We touched on it earlier. This is it. This is the final little pitch for today.
Okay.
I rolled something out this morning, my time.
Yep.
That
Mine time.
I think. Well, you were asleep your time. So.
Oh, your time. I thought you said Mai Tai. I thought you were offering me a drink, so I could catch up a little bit. On some, not Muay Thai.
I'm not wearing a tie. Okay, so enough of the stupid dad puns. I changed. So we've got now. Okay, this is the thing. You can now book consulting time directly with us. You can just go to a calendar and you can book an hour and you can have direct time with us. You can do it like if you need time with us for something urgent, you can book it same day. Most days, like depending on our availability, you'll be able to book it same day. So you can now go and book time directly with us for help. And the really cool thing about that is if you're an ultra subscriber, you get 20% off.
So you didn't say that it costs any money. So it costs how much?
It does. It
$250.
$250 for an hour session.
For an hour. So you can get multiple hours. There you go.
You absolutely can.
We have been bombarded with requests. This is a way, like, our time is valuable, important, we feel, and we just have to be very focused. But it's like, if you're serious, a couple $100 for our time, we'll get right in and disable notifications and all that stuff.
And it'll help further the course. Everything continues to help us move forward. So, we'll still be providing support through the normal channels. This isn't like the only thing. So if you're on Ultra, you can create private support tickets through the dashboard just the same. And the time frame for getting those replied is faster than free open GitHub tickets, but it's not going to be as quick as you booking a call with us. So that's an option. And then obviously, GitHub issues, which we'll get to when we get to, or the community will get to, and sort of help each other out. So that's that. Just a slight addition to the repertoire of stuff that we've got And in doing that, I did bring back the build. Do you remember we had that form, the build my app page? I brought that back.
Yes. Yes.
People can, if you want help actually just building an entire app and not just little bits and pieces of support, we're open to that as well. So
good job, man. Good job.
cool.
Thanks.
That's it. That was my really boring final announcement, which you all waited very patiently for. So thanks.
We're going to make a shout about Jump being released. And then we're also going to make a shout about Mostly Technical sponsoring us in the hopes that we'll get more sponsorships. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
And
That would
then
be lovely.
Scott said he's going to go buy 5 tickets, even though it's just him coming. You can then have 5 plates of food if you desire.
We can definitely do that where people with more tickets get more food and drinks.
And hugs. Whatever. That's fine.
Preferential treatment.
We'll do your nails. We'll give foot massages. NativePHP foot massages.
Yeah, I'll let you. You can touch my thigh.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Is that more for me or is that more for you? I don't know.
Do you remember that time in Germany when we were in Germany? I just kidding.
Oh no.
That's so funny. All right. I'm gonna do a little bit of work. I might have a beer tonight also.
Do it, man.
Go put another one in the fridge.
Earned it.
I've only got one in the.
Is that from last year?
I got
or
so
like
much to
5
do.
years
It is. We went to Germany. I got back
Get
from
some
Germany. I bought
fresh
a
ones.
12-pack.
Get
No,
some
they're
fresh
good.
cold
They're
ones.
fine. There's nothing wrong. They
No,
are
you
cold.
don't
It
know.
is cold. No, it's good. It was Beck's.
can't
I got back from Germany. I'm like, Beck's. And I threw 3 in the fridge, and I've had 2 of those 3 in the last year.
Brilliant.
Don't
been
be
so
jealous,
productive.
Scott. Join us at the Vibes, man.
I've got 2 thighs. That's all I'm just gonna say. There's plenty to go around.
Have a good weekend. See you guys next week. Actually, let's say this real quick. Next Friday, I'll be here. The following 2 Fridays at least, we will not be here because we'll be in Japan.
Correct.
Well, I won't be. No, we won't be. Yeah, we'll both be traveling to Japan or in Japan. So
Exactamundo.
So we got next Friday, and then that's it for a couple weeks. And then I will be taking off one other time in June for London. So I'll be in London on that Friday. So there you go.
Good.
All right. Good job. See you guys. Hand pink waving. We will see y'all later. Peace.